Introduction. In some capacity, we're all going through life juggling responsibilities and balancing our hats as fathers, husbands, brothers, sons, and friends. We're all doing our best not to drop a single task while simultaneously making it look clean and effortless. As the saying goes, never let them see you sweat. The goal is to find rhythm and reach our potential until we have successfully accomplished our unique life's calling. For the purpose of growing and expanding, we continuously add layers to situations that are sometimes already hard to balance. At least, that was the case for me. Then I dropped the most important asset I had. I lost my family. 10 years ago, I traveled 4 hours away to serve as a guest speaker in Fresno, California. On my way home from this conference, my wife called and said that she had left me in California for good. My ego refused to believe her. She wasn't gone, she was just threatening me again. In my spirit, however, I knew the truth. When I got home, sure enough, everything was gone. She had left a note on the bathroom counter saying she had taken the kids and moved back to Texas. I immediately called one of the leaders of my church home to tell him what had happened and hopefully to receive guidance. Instead, he gave me an opportunity to resign with dignity, while immediately dismissing me from my position as senior minister due to not fulfilling my responsibilities as a husband. At that point, all I wanted to do was move back to Texas, where both my wife and I are from, to reunite with my family and try to pull all the pieces of my broken puzzle back together. I had to get back to them. I attempted to make a short sale on our house, but it didn't work out. The home that we had once prayed for and celebrated went into foreclosure. It was almost as if all the balls that I had been juggling, one by one, had all started falling and shattering right in front of me. My beautiful family was gone. My career was gone. My identity was gone. My self-esteem was gone. My pride was shot. All of my life, I had successfully managed everything that was put before me. As a kid, I played basketball, baseball, golf, soccer, and football, while simultaneously making sure my grades didn't slip. I also completed chores around the house, helping my family in any way that I could. By the time I was 16 years old, I was playing sports, dating, and preaching. Following my high school graduation, my interest in athletics was replaced by my college classes and my barbering practices. I was still dating and preaching, and by the age of 24, I was married and had just welcomed our first son into the world. I had been given the opportunity of a lifetime. We moved from Arlington, Texas, to Southern California so that I could preach the Word of God with the additional perk of a pretty handsome salary. Since I'd lost everything, I felt like the Lord had abandoned me. I felt like He'd walked away from me because I failed to complete the ministry assignment, which was ministering to my family first and foremost. I did not claim to be perfect, never had, but I still could not understand what was happening or why. I had had it all, then lost it all, in what felt like a matter of just seconds. The only things I had left were my own life and my addiction to codeine and Vicodin. They could relax every nerve in my body by releasing enough dopamine from my brain to make me feel confident and clever enough to survive any situation. Whenever the euphoric high lapsed and the reality of life set in, I was always one swallow away from being in control again. Ironically, the very presence in my life that made me lose everything was also the only staple that I could rely on in those moments. When I moved back to Texas, I was in survival mode spiritually, mentally, and financially. If anyone has ever experienced this, you can relate to how stressful that situation is. I was geographically closer to my family, but my wife and I were still separated. My opioid use disorder had become so bad that I was red flagged in Dallas for doctor shopping, meaning I was going around to different doctor's offices and medical facilities in search of a licensed provider who would prescribe me codeine or Vicodin. I started buying opioid painkillers from acquaintances to help counter the symptoms of withdrawal. One day, my 5-year-old son, BJ, called and asked when I was coming home. His phone call triggered something in me. It was my wake-up call. At that very moment, I knew something had to change.